Hello and welcome to another episode of Nonsense History. Yes, sirree, where the nonsense is always there and history is always back there because it's in the past. See what I did there? Any hoodles and doodles, we are talking about the history of weird weapons and the people that created them. Some have never seen the light of day and some have. Ooh. All right. Matthew, you want to get us started?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start it with a with a good one. It's called Project Pigeon. The goal of
Mm,
it was to make pigeon-controlled guided bombs.
okay.
So this was this was later used for the bat bomb, which we'll talk about later. But what it was is the intent was to train pigeons to act like pilots for the missiles. And what it was is a it would project an image of the target on the screen, and pigeons were trained to peck at their targets. So it
Mm-hmm.
would just keep pecking, and the pecking would tell the missile where to go. And as long as the target remained in the center of the screen would not move. But anytime it got off track, it would move, so the pigeon would peck at it and tell the missile to get back on course. Now, this was done in the like 40s to 50s, and it didn't see the light of day because electronic guidance systems got better, and it just got better than using a pigeon.
Oh yes. Would the pigeon die, I'm assuming?
Yeah, yeah, that pigeon died.
That's not good. That's not a good look. Pigeons dying. Now, I know people out there call pigeons basically flying rats, but they are still animals. Also, I feel like it's kind of ineffective, but
You know, yeah,
so it's based off the pigeon pecking at something, right?
yeah.
So what if the pigeon just pecks at something else?
Then the point was they were trained to do that, but if they did it, then the missile would go off course.
Yeah, so like if I get some food for the pigeon and I throw it somewhere else, wouldn't it just bomb somewhere else?
I mean, if you could get food into a missile flying multiple hundreds of miles an hour, yeah.
Oh, it's in the missile?
Yeah, it's in the missile.
Oh, okay. Okay, from my like understanding, I thought a pigeon somewhere on Earth was pecking at someone. I
No,
was like,
no, no. They put the pigeon in the missile and it pecked as it flew.
you know what's sad? They had to test this out multiple times before it
I
went
I,
through.
I don't know. There's no reference. I don't know if there's any reference to testing or
Maybe they were
casualties.
like, maybe some guy was like, you know what? I have a great idea. And it was just midnight, and I was like, I'm kind of tired, but I gotta give something to the general, or I'm gonna get like yelled at.
Um.
And then this was it. I was like, oh,
So apparently, the National Defense Committee saw this as kind of a impractical idea, but they still gave $25,000 to research. Um.
someone got $24,900 because it probably cost $100 for
So
that pen and paper.
oh, so that to think or to make sure that one pigeon didn't messed up, there's actually three pigeons in three
Oh my!
separate tubes.
Oh, so 2 out of 3, so majority would win, right?
Yep.
What if they all went 3 different directions?
I don't know. One
See, these
Skinner.
are the questions are we asking?
So here's some testing notes. During one test, the pigeon pecked more than 10,000 times in 45 minutes.
Damn, we just learned
Mhm.
how much pigeons can do, what pigeons really can do, the damage they can do. I think this is more of a pigeon learning about pigeons more than like actual weapon
Hold on,
testing.
let me look this up quick. Hold on.
Hot
Let's see.
dang.
10,000 divided by 45. Dude, he did 222 pecks a minute.
That's better than some people
Divided
can
by
type.
60, he was doing 3 pecks a second. Wow.
I'm doing it in my head right now with my nose. I'm like, I could see that. It's a weird observation thing I did, but I was like, because the nose is the only thing I can like relate to a beak. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, I'm
Okay.
trying to like bob my head 3 times and yeah, I guess you can. Well, that's something. What's next? What's next in their
Well, hold
base?
on. Also, let me see how much. So they gave him $283,000 for research.
Wait,
That's
wait. You said 25.
what?
You said 25,000, not
No,
283,000.
I calculated that to today.
Oh god, that's how much it's worth. We gave someone gave. I guess we've done worse for more. I guess
So continuing on our
down, down.
down our
Yeah.
annual
Wait.
shoot. Welcome to Operation Blue Peacock.
Ooh.
This was
Wait.
the
Who?
goal to make nuclear mines, landmines.
Okay.
And so 10 kiloton nuclear landmines in Germany in the event of a Soviet invasion.
Oh, so they just planted these everywhere.
So, okay, well, hold on. It didn't happen, okay?
Oh wait, was the like plan to like plant these landmines so when
Hmm.
the Soviets went over them,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah.
Yeah, so they would just destroy all of Germany. Like if they're coming in, it's all gone.
Yeah, so it weighed 7 tons.
Of course.
Um, so let's see. Its steel casting was so large, it had to be tested outdoors in a flooded gravel pit.
Oh, this was tested? Wow.
So, but there was a problem.
What was the problem?
Um, the mines, if it got too cold in the ground, would stop working.
No, you're saying that in let's think where Germany is. Hmm. Yeah, they get snow. They get snow. It's
Yeah,
not
but
California.
the the reason it failed was that the nuclear fallout would be too much price to pay.
Oh, is that it? Is that it? When did they realize that? 5 minutes after they made the thing, or
Uh,
no? After it, no, is that
no,
they
so
tested it? So
so I just want to let you know before I tell you the next part of the idea. They thought it was an April Fool's joke.
the Germans.
No, the public.
Oh
This was a
God,
British weapon. This wasn't a German weapon.
this was a British weapon.
Yes. So,
Wait, well, when was this made?
um, the 50s.
Oh, okay, okay. Historically,
Yeah,
we're in the
Cold War.
USSR versus yeah
Yeah.
Cold War. Okay, yeah, nope.
So remember how I said the problem is it would get too cold.
Yeah.
So they had an idea of wrapping it in insulating blankets, but one proposal was that you put live chickens in the bomb and then put food and water in there for them to live about a week or so that the body heat would keep the bomb warm until the bomb went off.
Would the chickens set off the bombs?
Nope. Because so the bomb would be set off by a wire or an 8-day timer.
8 days?
Hmm.
What happens if someone forgets to change it?
What? What do you mean?
Like, so it's a timer, right?
Yeah. I don't
So
think
what
it's one
happens
of those
if
timers that you set. I mean, you push the button and it's 8 days. I don't think they have to do anything.
I meant to reset it because after like 9 days.
Uh, well,
You
after
see what I'm
nine
saying?
days, it's blown up, is it?
Yeah. So there's a lot of human error that's possible here. I'm starting to see why this didn't get approved. Hmm. Was it possibly the fact that all of Germany would have been gone?
Are you telling me that you don't want to? You
Are,
don't
are-
want chickens?
hey, are you telling me you're a commie?
Are you
Are you telling me
te-
you're a red?
So this next one is from World War One. So
Oh, my favorite one.
I do actually have a video of this being used. So what this
Ooh, that's perfect for our audio
is
listeners.
the Aeroton anti-gas fan.
Okay, okay, okay.
So it was a fan given to soldiers that after a gas attack, they just blow the fans to get the gas out of the trenches.
So
Um,
this is to help, or is this another weapon?
um, it's not really a weapon. It's just
A tool?
a tool.
Yeah, oh yeah, because
Now,
the mustard gas was a huge problem.
I don't know actually how effective this video, looks pretty comical to be honest, of just a bunch of soldiers in line with
Hey,
fans.
listen. If mustard gas was coming, and you had like, you know those fans that
In the
like
fall of
Japanese women
1987,
have over their face
scrappers
and
Oh,
stuff,
Roberto dos
hold on.
Santos Elvis, the
I'm sorry,
I
guys.
would have used those.
Yeah.
I would have used anything, but mustard. Like the World War I was real crazy with the gas.
Mhm.
What was it called? It was the first time nuclear. No.
What?
So
Chemical.
I'm trying to think. What chemical weapons were used. It
Chemical
was the first
weapons.
time chemicals
Yes.
weapons were used. So they were really just trying to figure out how to live. I feel bad for the early guys.
Mhm. Sorry about
Big
that
oof.
noise, guys. They heard a noise.
It's all
Yeah.
right. Here at Nonsense History, the noise just makes it that much real. But anyway,
So
we're gonna keep moving on forward.
yeah.
So this
So
is a fan that like blows out the gas. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, listen, that's not as bad as the pigeon, and then way better than the bomb that would blow up all of Germany.
so next up we have Project Babylon.
Wait, hold on. So they would plant these in Germany, right? Just 1 second. I'm just trying to look on a map where Germany is. Isn't that like Germany almost in the middle of everywhere?
Yes.
So I'm assuming the nuclear fallout would affect France, Switzerland, Austria, the Czech people, and Poland, right? And not to
Mhm.
mention Denmark. Also, I'm assuming it would probably hit UK eventually, but just more madness. Sorry, let's move on back to irregularly
Yeah.
scheduled programming.
Um. So the next one, Project
Yes, sir.
Babylon. So
Ooh, fun name.
this was also this was a more, I think it was a British soldier wanted to try this, and then they didn't want it, so it got moved to Iraq under President Saddam Hussein. I don't know who that's saying. Oh, Hassan. Saddam Hussein. But this is back in the 80s.
Saddam Hussein. Yep.
So the design was to have a really big gun. So first we have the baby Babylon. So the barrel was 151 feet.
Only 151 feet. Psh.
Yeah. So it was expected to have achieved a range of 750 kilometers.
Didn't the Germans have something similar to this?
Yes, they did, but this one wasn't mobile. Germany did have a plan for that, but that failed. So
Well, Germany also had a plan for the fighter jets, and that was a whole
yeah.
different thing.
So now we get to Big Babylon. Much larger at 512 feet long barrel.
512 feet?
So the device weighed 2,000 tons. And the goal of it was to shoot objects into orbit. Now, a use for it would be to launch satellites into space. But
We're real quick. 512 feet, by the way,
uh-huh.
is almost 2 football fields.
Yeah.
That's 170 yards, but so that's almost 2 football fields of just a barrel.
Mhm.
How like what? I guess bigger barrel, bigger bullet.
Big old bear. You know,
What was the reason for its preposterously large
to
size?
launch stuff into space or
Oh,
very
to
far.
launch it into space or from space?
No, like you launch satellites or what into space, or shoot a
Very.
metal object like 600 miles.
I mean, if you're bored in the Midwest, you could probably do this too.
If you're bored in the Midwest.
I'm assuming there's space, and there's probably nobody's gonna question. And sorry, that was just me. My bad. Neighbor,
Oh
5 million miles away.
man. So After the Gulf War in 1991, the Iraqis admitted to the existence of it and allowed UN inspectors to destroy the hardware as part of the
Hey,
disarmament
so
project.
1991 happens. Hey, so you know what we do have? You know it's crazy. Don't it's super crazy, but we have this 512 barrel. Crazy.
I mean, like, what?
They couldn't have lied and just say it's a pipe. It's a pipe for oil.
No, I.
Did it look like a gun?
No. It looked like a sewer pipe.
Yeah, so they could just said, "Oh, it's a sewer pipe, just a giant sewer pipe. Nothing to see here." But I'm guessing they had like the schematics and the blah blah blah, the actual paperwork.
Yeah, so the next weapon we have is the Vortex Gun.
Ooh, it sounds fancy. Sounds something like you would see in
So
Avengers.
it was in World War II,
Okay, okay.
and it would the goal of it was to shoot a jet of compressed air against enemy aircraft. Um, it kind of I'll send you the picture. It looks kind of weird. Um, but like the air would go up and then to the top little bin there and the tiny tip and shoot air out. So what happened
Uh,
was what?
oh, by the way, I just got your use of trench fans.
Oh, you did.
What is this? This isn't a trench. I thought it was like an automated like.
No, no, it's a head.
It's them fanning like something you would see at ancient Egypt or something. What?
Yes.
That's not a trench fan. They let these boys die. I'm gonna be honest with you. They let these boys die. These poor 1918 boys are had mustard gas in their souls. Yeah, let's just fan it like that. A piece of paper would have been better.
So
Oh my god, what is this? This is no, this is the vortex.
yeah.
So grainy, so old, so World War II. Ooh la la.
So the cannon worked by igniting gas. The weapon ejected projectile of compressed air and water vapor, which shot like a solid bullet of air. Um, Experimental trials demonstrated that it could break a 25 millimeter thick wooden board at a distance of 200 meters.
So was it not effective? You're saying?
Hold on. Let me check. So it could break a
Mhm.
1 inch wood board at a distance of what did I say?
25 meters? No.
No, that was the hold on. Let me there it is. Let's see, at 200 meters, that's right.
But these things are in the sky, so thousands of meters,
Okay,
aren't they?
so at 650 feet, it could break a 1 inch wooden board.
Okay.
Um, so let's see. The test proved that a powerful region of compressed and high velocity air could be deployed to inflict some damage. However, airplanes would practically just neutralize it,
Yeah, that's what I'm
just
saying.
by
Like
their aerodynamics.
it would be just turbulence, right? At best.
It was installed over a bridge, but had no significant results.
Did it look cool, I guess?
Um, I don't think so.
You can claim art piece. It's just art, bro. It's not
Just
a weapon of mass destruction.
so yeah, I mean,
You know what? It's above Pigeon, below nuking Germany.
okay. So
How about that?
for a finer one, I'll just
Ooh.
some people think this was a ploy from the Allies to show bad testing, so the Germans thought like they were trying to do something else other than D-Day. So the Pendulum Jump. Okay, there's the
Okay.
image. You can just see it there.
Yeah, it's a two giant wheels.
So the goal of it was you had two giant wheels with rockets on it, explosives in the barrel, you let it go off of a landing vehicle, it spins up and races across the beach to hit the German Atlantic Wall and blow up a hole in it big enough for a tank to go through.
I mean, I'm not against it. It probably look cool.
So, if you guys don't know, the Atlantic Wall was a project Germany was doing to build a giant concrete wall around the Atlantic near where Britain was, so that no one to stop land invasions. Okay, so the thing was that it had to be able to destroy. Sorry about that, guys. That was my pets. So you had to destroy a 10-foot high, 7-foot thick concrete wall.
Oh, we're talking about Normandy, right?
Yeah, the Atlantic Wall. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one, I feel like you need a lot of explosives to destroy 7 feet of concrete.
I feel like you can blow this thing out of the water before it even gets there, right?
Well, as you'll soon see, yeah. So it had some problems. One of them was keeping it on track.
Yeah, I'm assuming like because it's just it looks like a bunch of rockets, and then hopefully it
Yeah.
spins.
So, well, let's go through this. The first problem was keeping the rockets on the wheels. The clamps weren't strong enough, and they would start flying off, blowing up in the water, or flying towards people who were watching the experiment.
Ooh! Oh my God! It's coming!
Yeah,
Kind
and
of deals.
yeah, so they tried to put more rockets on, and they tried a bunch of stuff. Like they tried to use steel cables to keep the wheels together so it's straight, but then the steel cable snapped and flew all over the beach. Um,
Yeah, that's what you want on your beach experience.
yeah.
Some watermelon, a towel, and a steel cable to the head.
So my favorite topic is that they say it was too powerful, and that the, but
They have to because they can't say,
so
"Oh no, it's not
well,
great."
another problem that happened in the final test to show if they would use it or not is it would be spinning, and then it would hit like like how there was a bunch of like depressions in the sand because bombing and stuff.
Yeah.
It hit a depression and immediately turned, came out and started charging towards the cameraman who was recording. So he's running for his life, and then it hits another divot, and then goes into the ocean. Starts heading towards the ocean, and then blows up.
Is that all on video?
I don't know. They never released it. It might have got.
I'm sure they would never want to. By the way, I will say like the picture has a little arrow to point where the bombs I guess should go.
I don't know what that arrow is supposed to mean.
It, I think it's supposed to be like the bombs go this way.
Oh, is that the way
But
it turns?
yeah, that's why it's like it's supposed to turn like up because that way it goes straight. But also it looks like an Amazon logo a little bit. So,
So
but
on the
what's it called? I'm telling you.
on the 65th anniversary of the Normandy landings, a replica was constructed.
And used?
Yeah, and it was loaded with fireworks.
Oh,
And it
lame.
was expected to travel 500 meters at a speed of 24 kilometers an hour. But in the event, it traveled in a straight line only for 50 meters.
It actually just traveled for 50 meters.
Yes, hold on. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry if there's some noise. Let me mute the YouTube video before it starts. So
Uh,
they actually have the video of the replica.
oh God.
Hold on. Let me. So I'm watching it right now. So they loaded it with fireworks.
Okay, okay.
It's oh my
And
gosh.
and, and it only go.
Hold on.
I mean, it was never meant to be used. Wait, was this meant to be used during the Normandy invasion?
Yes.
When people were on the beach?
This was supposed to go on before they went on the beach. I sent you the videos, Ed. It's only 30 seconds long. So as you guys can't see, but it's sparking and smoking everywhere, and it's spinning, and then it makes about 50 meters before the sand stops it.
You know what though? I will say this. If you launched that, the Germans would stop firing immediately and be like, What are they? What are they do?
You see,
Ein?
I would say that too, but like I don't really know.
I feel like there would be a few of them going. Is this it? Is this the invasion?
Also, the question was, if you shot it with a heavy enough caliber, would it just blow up?
I mean, I feel like you have better chance with like just throwing at someone than that.
Yeah. But that was a history of some history weapons that were
So slow.
questionable.
So slow. Yeah, it's they're definitely questionable whether it's ethically correct with the pigeons or just how do I say a big poof, you know, with the I guess this last one we saw. But yes, thank you for listening to another episode of Nonsense History. And as always, the nonsense you hear is always never going to be right or wrong. But the history will always factually kind of be right because we know a little bit, you know? All right. Thank you.